everyone and welcome to KYE Talks. I'm Sonal Ambekar, your host for this interview. Today's interview is powered by MD Investments, founded by Mr. Mandar Datar, an excellent insurance and investments agent. Find the link to MD Investments down below in the description box. Let's begin with today's KYE Talk. Today my guests are Shweta Harvinder Matharu. Hello Shweta, hello Harvinder, welcome to KYE Talks.
Hi.
Hi.
So to give a little bit of a background, I'll tell you what Shweta and Harvinder have been up to. Shweta has spent more than a decade in corporate and she took a break to raise her kids and enjoy the phase of motherhood, of course, rightfully so. During this phase, her thoughts were constantly on how can she help reduce the usage of chemicals for her kids and also source organic, natural food for the family. She did lots of research and found that there is very less understanding and availability of sustainable products in the market. But more than that, there were so many social enterprises doing exceptional work at the ground level who were just not being recognized. This is where it triggered that she should start with FarmerStory. Mr. Harvinder, her husband, he's been in the corporate life for 12 plus years and that was enough to make him think of what next. FarmerStory happened when both him and Shweta seriously wanted to make their lives less polluting. They were very clear from day one that the business has to have deep social and environmental impact. A business with fair and transparent partnership, non-exploitative. And that's how FarmerStory came to be. Let's get to know more from Shweta and Harvinder. Hello Shweta, hello Harvinder. And I really want to know how FarmerStory actually came to be and why FarmerStory? Why the name FarmerStory?
Correct. Shweta, you were going to. So actually, yeah. So FarmerStory started, as a offshoot to visit to one of our friends' farm, where he was beginning to work with a lot of farmer community and trying to provide employment to them. We saw that as an opportunity as to how we can support him to come to the market and extend knowledge sharing with people. Because till the time the consumers in the market don't understand what exactly the right set of product and the knowledge behind it, they wouldn't be able to absorb such kind of products.
There's lack of awareness.
That's how FarmerStory, yes, that's how FarmerStory came about.
You have to become a link. You have to become a link for two parts to come together. So that is why we thought of becoming that link.
And why story? Because every product has a story behind it. Whether that be a farmer, whether that be artisan, whether that be self-help groups, they have a story to tell. Their challenges, their successes to share. And that's how FarmerStory came about.
Yeah. And can you tell us what exactly it is that FarmerStory does? Because I want the audience to hear it directly from you.
Sure.
So FarmerStory basically tries to bring in the focus and the understanding. As I said, two parts have to be linked together. So the understanding of what the farmers are bringing to you. Right. And secondly, what the consumer exactly needs. Now, the consumer needs, yes, the basic need of every human being is food. And the farmer is the one who is growing the food. So connecting that is what FarmerStory basically does. Farmer is in a field working hard, completely putting his knowledge, putting his thought into what should be grown, how it should be grown. And when it is an organic farmer, he is putting his sweat and blood to make sure that chemicals are not going to our stomach. So the consumer needs to know the passion with which the farmer is actually growing that food and making all the efforts to bring it to our plates. So FarmerStory is trying to be that link wherein we are able to translate that passion to the customer and we are able to translate the want, the needs of the customer to the farmer. So yes, that is our FarmerStory.
But we didn't stop there. Just to add to a point, we realized that food is one aspect of sustainable lifestyle. And that's how we started reaching out to multiple such communities from across India and started bringing in products which are much more sustainable. And that's how the overall umbrella of products under FarmerStory started getting extended.
So it's such a wholesome platform where sustainable living is promoted as to how much ever it can be.
Yes.
True. It's actually age-old living practices.
Yes.
And it's being rediscovered in India or across the globe, actually.
And it better be, because we are really forgetting some of these, important, you can say, values or information that our ancestors would have passed on to us, but we just were discovering new things to give enough value or importance to these age-old, ways of going about life. So
Correct.
I want to know that the motivation is clear that you wanted to, get something sustainable and healthy living for your family. But was there
Right.
ever a time that you thought that being an entrepreneur was, on your bucket list or something? Or did you think that, oh, starting something of my own is something that I need to do?
For me, I come from a background, or rather a family of people who have all been entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So all my father is an entrepreneur, my sister is an entrepreneur, all my cousins, my chachas, everybody's an entrepreneur. So you learn everything on a dining table when you come from a business family. Over the dinners, over the lunch, over breakfast, early mornings when it is 7 o'clock and your father is talking over the phone to somebody, and the business starts right, early morning when you open your eyes till the time you're closing your eyes. So it was always in my mind that I had to do my own business. I had to become an entrepreneur. I had to become a businesswoman. That was my goal.
Of course.
My motivation was way different. Yeah. I come from a city, Jamshedpur, Tata Nagar, wherein we've seen the amount of philanthropic work that Tatas have done.
Yes.
And very up and close. My mom was also for a little while actively involved in with some of the NGOs, schools, etc. And it's when you've grown up in that kind of environment, as Shweta said, that looking at businesses up and close. For me, it was always the kind of impact on the communities, the kind of the uplifting of the people who deserve much better. From the communities all around, from the society all around, was something that stuck around with me. And again, having both of us had the similar, I would say, age across corporate lifestyle. And then, when we wanted to do a business, we wanted to combine. We wanted to make a sense of the business overall, but also wanted to see that it does have a deep social impact to whatever we are doing.
Right. And like Shweta said that two things are there needs to be a link, and what your
always
was and what her motivation was, there was this link that came together.
Correct.
And joined, and then FarmerStory took birth, right?
Absolutely.
So what would you guys say gives you a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day? What makes you feel, oh yeah, we're doing the right thing? There are many points that I can say that I feel so satisfied that I am doing something that is changing lives, that is saving lives, that is actually making a difference, that is making a mother sleep peacefully at nights, is when we are giving them chemical-free food, when we are educating or passing on the knowledge. Educating somebody is a very big term. I would just say I'm passing on the knowledge of how the farming is done, what kind of a farmer uses what kind of seeds, everything. There is so much. A farmer is a scientist, I would say. He knows, his level of understanding and the scientist level of understanding is almost similar. Yeah.
So the information has to go to the customer. The customer, till the time they do not know the depth of the intensity with which the farmer is actually growing the food or making a product, they will not understand. And nobody is going to. For us also, if you want to go and buy a car, we actually look at every aspect of the car. So why not food?
Right.
Know
as
your farmer
as
as basic as food. Know your farmer well, and you would be satisfied. And it is so amazing when mothers come to me and they say, thank God you have given us this information.
Right.
Our lifestyle has changed. Our parents have gone off their medicines. So many things have changed in our life.
So many health benefits happening.
Yes, absolutely. I myself have experienced tremendous shift in my own health. And trust me, it is very satisfying when somebody comes to you and says, our hair looks so good because we have been consuming this particular product. My skin is so clear. My digestive system is perfect. My son's health is better. My son doesn't have chest congestions anymore because of the kind of products that you're providing. So it's nice to hear all these.
And yeah, now it has become a thing where people, while slowly we are getting to the age where people, before buying a product, they read all the ingredients and what all is there.
Yes.
Or whatnot.
Yes.
That habit of reading what you're buying is coming.
That's
correct.
That's right.
Correct.
And like Shweta said, Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But our accomplishment doesn't, just stop there. On the consumer side, as Shweta mentioned, that we really feel blessed when people appreciate the effort.
Right.
Also on the community side, what also gives us a sense of accomplishment is that we are able to take the brands, social enterprises, communities, their products, not just to in markets across India, but internationally as well.
Right.
So the two brands we've recently tied up for international markets are gifting baskets, which are hand-woven by tribal self-help groups, are getting listed on 2 international platforms. These are the kind of moments, these are the kind of moments that we live for, I would say. That's so high in, when you rate it in terms of accomplishment, business will come as and when it will come, but the listing of it, the acceptance of it, the appreciation of the work that's being done by communities itself stands out and shines through.
Yes, and that is so in line with your vision, Mr. Harvinder, because you want to uplift people as you're growing up. And that this, in a way, how you can help, them be uplifted. That's wonderful.
That's right.
So this question would be, what were certain difficulties or challenges that you may have faced as you started, or entrepreneurship, or like when you started FarmerStory and throughout the journey until now? Are there any such challenges that you would like to share with us? Or mainly, how did you overcome them? Because that is what matters at the end of the day. How you solve your problems, how you go about it.
Yeah. So there are multiple challenges. One of the few constant lines that we would always hear at the start of the business was, there isn't much of typical business that you can do with social enterprises. Their products aren't of good quality. It's so difficult to work with them. It's so difficult to find markets, convince customers, etc. So, we cannot pinpoint to only one challenge that we went through. We went through multiple sets of challenges, but we were kind of adamant, persistent, that this is something that we want to really make work, because we could see that, just taking one example, the sale of our baskets in the past 2 years, only with the sale of gifting baskets, in the past 2 years, we've been able to support 90 tribal families, only with that. And it's an all around the year income that we've been able to provide them with. So that's something, that's something that with the kind of effort, and that justifies, right? No matter how much of challenges that we have, yes, in terms of perception, that still exists, that, whether it makes business sense or not, but that's something that we'll constantly move towards, creating more opportunities for the communities.
That's amazing that tribal lives are also being impacted by the good work that you're doing. And it's high time people start thinking about these people who really have no sources or means to, even get that simple, minimal living, sources that they
So they basically live hand to mouth, right? I mean, if you don't give them an employment for a day, that day's meal is not cooked.
Right.
It's that harsh. It's it is that real. So yes, we need to think very deeply about it.
Yes,
definitely.
And also I want to highlight this fact that when Shweta said that farmers are scientists, which is actually so true, because a farmer is very, up to date about the soil that he's farming in, or the weather condition that is there around his farm. And there is so much study or, day-to-day thinking or tension or worries that he himself has to face to make sure that the next day his crops still live and they give a good produce.
So the knowledge has been passed on from generation to generation. So that is what the real transfer of knowledge happens,
Right.
That is what is very important.
What we call as KT in IT industry, the knowledge transfer.
Wow.
So then, there's a lot of traditional knowledge. Yeah.
Apart from what Harvinder spoke, there is another challenge that we face. It's because of the entire adulteration of the entire word of organic, entire word of natural, and people have their own perspectives, but I would be a little direct in saying that people do not have a barrier that they should set. We should not do a certain thing just to earn money. That barrier is not there, and due to which people like us suffer, wherein we have to literally convince a customer that whatever we are selling is definitely, pure.
Right.
And that is a very big challenge when you are in this kind of a business, wherein customers when you see tuar ki dal, when you see two tuar ki dals, you cannot make out a difference ki ye organic hai ki wo organic hai. But the customer actually has to go with the trust of the person who is speaking, right? People who, if they stop, misusing the word organic on their products, maybe somebody like us would have an easier, way through the business, because we also has to survive, right? It's not only about educating, providing good food, but we also ourselves as humans have to survive in this business.
Yes.
So yeah, that is one very major big challenge that we face.
Very nicely you highlighted that people who are into this adulteration business, they lack the conscience that this may affect a lot of good businesses who are actually out there providing good products, non-adulterated. Right. And that is affecting the trust that the customers have in anything that is
Absolutely.
There's this trust.
Because I get that question very often. Yes. How do we know this is organic? Understand that this is a very often a question that we get. But we had experienced this in that particular brand, and how do we trust you? Then we have to call them to our store, then we show them the entire range of brands, and then we say that if you have seen these brands on somebody else's shelves, trust me, I will change the name of my own brand, and that is so true. So
that is how much of assurance you have to give to your customer.
Yeah, we have to put ourselves right out there to make sure that the customer trusts you. That is not very good.
In fact, this is one of the reasons while onboarding or starting to work with any community, we visit them, we see the kind of work that they are doing. We see that who are the people getting impacted, who are the people behind it, who are the people involved, what's their background, and only then get a product to the market.
So
it's very easy to get any brand. So that's important. That's important. Otherwise, one very small example, last January prior to the pandemic, we had actually gone to Siliguri just to understand what tea is all about. Right. Till then, we had not touched any tea brand. And when we went to the tea estates and when we underwent the understanding of what a tea stands for, we ourselves are amazed that, wow, we didn't know anything about tea. Yeah.
Whereas
so for us, it's like
such an important part of, India.
Such a basic.
Such a basic.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different world altogether.
Right. And we didn't know anything. And that's one of the reasons why we were not doing anything about it. But once when we understood, we thought now it makes sense to identify a brand, identify the people, and get their efforts to be showcased in the market.
Yeah. So for getting all these, communities, you must have to visit or meet with so many different people from different walks of life, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And how does that experience feel?
Excellent.
Thrilling. Both of us love meeting people.
Yeah.
So both of us are, outgoing. So we like talking to people. We like meeting people. When there are two people who are like-minded people meet together, the entire discussion happens at a completely different level. Right. And as I said, though 2-3 days are also insufficient for us to continue the discussion.
But we both go with different objectives. Shweta, in terms of what a consumer would like, I with a different objective that how the communities and what kind of products can be brought to the market, in what way, what scale, what tie-up, what partnerships.
But then yes, the partnership that is happening here, it's so wholesome. I can't get enough of it.
So that's the enjoying part of it. And plus we get a family vacation too.
Oh yeah.
So your kids are also whether you go to Nilgiris, whether you go to the Northeast, whether you go to North or any part of the country, right. And that's the beauty of India. It's so diverse. The communities all across India are so welcoming. Right. When you're there to learn something and they can see through you.
Correct.
Right. And that's what sticks. And that's what we want to build. We don't just want to get a brand and sell it, right? A product and sell it. We want to build a tie-up, a touch of heart with the people, with the communities.
That is how the story comes to be. That is how the story of what they were and how they are connecting with you, and this big whole story that happens through that journey.
Absolutely.
That's how FarmerStory is coming to be. Wonderful.
So just to give you a small example, the fastest that we have got one brand to our shelf is 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
It takes us 6 months to bring one brand to our shelf. That is the fastest brand that has come to our shelf. Otherwise, every other brand would take like about a year and a half, 7 months, 10 months. Only
Easily.
That's the normal scrutiny criteria for this.
And that's a self-imposed.
Yeah.
And there's another, thought that we've always kept in mind, that we are never going to replicate a product. So, for example, if we are getting our cleaners, which is made of Rita from one community, we'll not get any other brand which is going to be competing against this brand, so that our shelf space, our mind space, our heart space is completely with that community. So that's important.
The best in the category, basically.
Wow.
Honey, best in the category. Ghee, best in the category.
As we've identified.
Yeah, that we know. Yeah.
That means that there is so much of work that is going behind it for you to determine.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
That's important. That's
all
important.
The time.
If you want the customers to trust us, and we should be able to put our neck out and say that this is the best in the category, then we have to put in that kind of effort.
Wow. So is it trial and error? Like do you try those things and then you decide how well it works?
Absolutely. I do that. Living example. So yeah, I'll start with a very small two examples. One is tuar ki dal and one is mangoes, because mangoes is also one of the very, very adulterated industry. And you cannot differentiate an organic mango from a normal chemicalated mango. So you don't know who's selling what and who's trying to earn what from where. So it's quite a weird situation. And I try and test everything. Secondly, so I need to understand that if I am using tuar ki dal, how much time does it take to cook? How does it affect your stomach? If I'm using khapli atta, how much time does it take to soak after you knit it? How does the roti come out? What is the color of the roti? I need to do it first. Only then I'll be able to tell the customer, you have to soak this for 20 minutes after you've knit it. Right. Otherwise, the roti is not going to come nice. The color of the roti eventually is going to be this. Only then, so I am very clear that this is what you're going to see. So you be prepared to, buy only if you're prepared to see what you are going to see. So yeah, that's what. So until and unless I have used it, I do not, basically suggest it to any of my customers.
And it won't even come on the shelf for that matter.
So there's so much of work that goes behind getting any of your product onto the shelf, and then giving the assurances to your clients must be a task. I want to know that where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years of time? Maybe where do you see FarmerStory in 5 years of time?
He'll answer that.
So there's a basic vision that we have. By 25, 26, in another 5 years' time, we want to work with at least 100 communities from across India. We want to provide at least 10,000 days of employment in the rural and tribal areas. There's a certain revenue number that we want to touch so that we can impact these communities in a positive manner. We want to reach at least 10 countries. Right. Our baskets have got listed in 2 platforms that will give us a reach across the world. But then again, 10 listings, 10 countries. So these are kind of, milestones that we've created for ourselves that we believe will be able to create a lot of positive impact. And then we want to document all of this and share it as an open secret for anyone who actually want to do work in this space. Obviously there would be a lot of, the challenges that we went through. We also did quite a few mistakes, etc. But that's something which we want it to be out there, open, so that anybody who wants to attempt a business in this space can be learned.
Wow, that's wonderful. So as you guys started on this journey, and every journey teaches us a lot and changes us a lot. So were there any changes that you guys have seen within yourselves or say in each other? Because you all are husband, wife, and you must be able to, see that change in each other quickly.
So, yes. Being a husband and wife, doing business together is very, very difficult. And I have seen it because I've grown up in that kind of an environment. May that be your cousins, may that be your father's brothers and everything. And there have been situations where me and Harvinder also come into this particular fix and we just decide, no, I will decide this, you decide this, there is no... Nobody comes into anybody's way. Okay. And that is how we normally survive. And the place where we cannot decide with, then we ask our son, decide. For example, the name FarmerStory has been voted for by our families, both our families.
What was the other option that you were thinking?
So there was FarmerStory, then there was FarmStory,
Okay.
So a few words here and there, a few alphabets here and
Right.
there. But yeah, the concept was very similar. Yeah, but then we both had and both of us are quite opposite, by nature as well. So both of us have this different thinking all the time. As you can see, our answers are also, mine is completely customer centric and his is completely community centric. So yeah, that happens to us quite a lot.
I think I wouldn't
there's been a lot of changes.
say it's opposite. I'd say it's very complimenting because that is what I have felt from your answers, that whatever your answers are, his answers are some or the other way, like coming together and making it one whole thing.
So right from the day one, we decided who's going to manage what. Right.
So
and when, for example, I get stuck in deciding that, what's the next step in my area of work, I seek Shweta's suggestion. She has a very different perspective and she sees it in a very different manner. And whenever she gets stuck that such and such customer is not able to get through to understand, why they should go and, for example, we keep on telling a lot of our customers to go and do farmer visits.
Right.
Whichever farmer you find, wherever you are, reach out to a farmer, have a conversation, etc. So that's that's why. So and whenever she is not able to communicate in a manner to a customer, I step in and introduce myself and say that how about this, how about that. So we try and find answers for each other as well whenever we are stuck in our own respective profiles.
And if you ask me, as a person, as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a homemaker, I would say that this entire business of ours has actually impacted our lives very, very deeply, because our health has improved tremendously. I am not saying it out of a whim, but complete experience, I would say. Complete experience, wherein I was spending more than 50,000 a month on my medical expenses along with my sons. Today, it has I'm investing only on my food, not in my doctor visits, not in my tests, not in my MRIs or CTs.
I mean,
so that is how it should be.
Organic products do cost a little higher than these adulterated products, the other products that are there.
There is a reason to that. There's a reason to that as well, because it's a full term that a farmer needs to grow.
Right.
Instead of 3 months, the harvest happens in 11 months. It takes about 13 months for the product to come to the shelf.
Right.
So the farmer has to keep his farm in one crop for 9 months. And a chemical farmer can have 4 harvests in that 9 months.
Yeah.
So 1 harvest and 4 harvest. That is the difference.
That's such a huge difference.
And if you see, the organic farmer is organic products are more, then if you compare, the organic product is more economical than the chemical products, because he is enjoying 4 harvests instead of this guy enjoying only 1 harvest. So that is the difference. That is the difference. That is why you feel that it is expensive, but agar aap ghoom ke dekhoge to it is not.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And plus the environmental impacts are huge. That's something that we cannot quantify. And if we really want to.
Shweta was saying that this knowledge is being passed on from generation to generation, like Katie, like
Absolutely.
I said.
That's right.
Absolutely.
With changing nature, with the changing climate, there are so many new things that these people have to keep discovering newer ways to deal with. Which even if the knowledge of, cultivating a crop is passed on by their ancestors, then to how to deal with it, how to, keep going with the current situation is something that these farmers have to figure out themselves, and which of course takes time and a lot of trial and error must be happening there also. That is why if these organic products cost a little more, it's always worth it, because they are
always worth it.
The best produce that they can.
Health is always worth anything.
Right.
I mean, you cannot gamble in that. Simple.
Right. So guys, coming to the end of our KYE talk, which has been really interesting and informative for me also, what is a message or words of wisdom that you would like to give our audience, or say budding entrepreneurs, to, take that one step? If you're scared to take a step, don't be scared. Take a step. If you have an idea, try it out, unless then you wouldn't know. So is there any such message that you would like to put out there?
I would say, believe in yourself. Everybody is an entrepreneur, everybody has that one knack in them which can turn them into an entrepreneur. You just have to find that knack, find that quality of yours that fits in,
Right.
and do the business that you like the most. Don't do the business of the product that you do not like or do not understand either.
Right.
Because till the time you do not enjoy selling, making, or do not enjoy educating people, or do not enjoy talking about it,
Right.
then you might not as well do it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So do what you really like talking about.
Believe
and
in, like you said.
believe in. Follow your guts.
Mr.
Always
Harvinder,
works.
do you have anything to add to it?
So definitely. So for me, two things. One is inward, the other is outward. Inward is, as Shweta mentioned, the passion, and there are many instances, during our studying years, growing up years, working years that you'll connect with. It can be as simple as making a transformer.
Right.
It can be as simple as repairing a TV. Anything that you find that your passion lies, that's inward. The outward is how that passion of yours betters the society and the environment. If you're able to find a connect, and any of your work. So for example, anybody who can repair an electronic device also is saving somebody else spending on a new device.
Right.
That's reducing the environmental waste. Right. So any passion of yours that connects with some form of community betterment, some kind of society betterment, and the environmental betterment, nothing like it. So go for that kind of passion, stick with it and explore it. There are many naysayers out there. If you believe what you're doing is right, go for it.
Then go for it. Very, very nicely you guys put it in words where Shweta has given us a very good message, and then you have complimented her message very nicely by saying that, believe in yourself, but if it has a social impact, go and do it, because that is what is needed in today's,
Right.
era. Thank you so much for coming here on KYE Talks, guys, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, same here.
We had a lovely
Thank you
time
so
as
much.
well. Thank you.
It was a great experience.
To my audience, I'd like to say that down below in the description box, we will be linking FarmerStory and all its social media handles. Do go and check it out. Do go and check out their products. Thank you.